What's up, everybody? Hunter Avalone here, back with another video. And yes, today I'm giving Tim Pool a run for his money. So most of you know I was raised Christian, and part of this included going to Awana once a week, which was basically just a youth group thing. But part of the thing that came along with Awana was you were supposed to memorize a verse every week and then recite it to like the youth pastor or something. And if you remembered all the verses and you got enough badges or they checked off the list or something, I don't know, if you did it enough times in a row the whole year or something like this, you got to go to Bible camp or Awana camp for 2 whole weeks. I, of course, didn't give a shit about going to camp, and I never planned on going to camp, nor did I ever go to camp. So what I would do is, rather than try to remember it throughout the week, I would literally just bring the book with me, and while my parents drove me to Awana, I would have the book, which had the verse in it that I was supposed to have been studying, and then I would read it 5 times, walk up to the person and be like, okay, Romans 3:16, here we go, and then I would just go for it. Did I cheat at youth group? Maybe, I don't know, but I thought I got away with it. Little did I know, God saw, and he had a special punishment waiting for me. And that is putting this video on my recommended page. So this was posted 8 days ago, and the channel is called Resist the Mainstream. Yeah, I bet they post really good content. This one's titled, Matt Walsh obliterates gender agenda in fiery debate. Gender agenda? The gender agenda.
Matt Walsh absolutely obliterates a woke leftist about transgenderism and gender-affirming care. Hey guys, this is Isabella Moody from Resist the Mainstream. Make sure you like today's...
Yeah, so the cherry on top, of course, is that Isabella Moody is the host. Isabella Moody is like the human equivalent of shit. And don't get me wrong, not just any shit either, like disgusting shit. The kind of shit that happens after you eat like Chipotle and Taco Bell, just in a row. Imagine that shit becoming sentient. Isabella Moody.
Preface my question by stating that there's currently 5.6 million intersex Americans, which are people who are biologically not considered female or male because they have incorrect chromosomes during their process of being born. So my question is, why do you personally not support gender-affirming care when a majority of those who are seeking gender-affirming care are intersex individuals, considering that there are double the amount of intersex people that are Americans and adults than there are trans people? And why are you fueling the rights ideology of this trans panic when considering that this healthcare that isn't even really for trans people, they just happen to use it, is more for other issues? And by doing so, you're limiting people who are suffering to get those actual treatments that they need. Okay.
So that was a little confusing, and I looked this up prior. I'm not gonna lie, I looked this part up, and I don't know, she may have just misspoke, or maybe she didn't mean for it to be so literal, like what she's saying here, but I don't think mostly intersex people are the ones using gender-affirming care. Intersex people do use gender-affirming care, and it's true that some states banning gender-affirming care also are negatively impacting intersex people in that state. That is also true. At least if I were her, I would phrase the argument more like, hey, I know you say the whole gender and sex thing being different is a bunch of crap. You don't believe that. So let's just put that aside then. You believe in biology, right? Well, you definitely agree that some people are biologically intersex, right? Okay, Matt Walsh would agree with that. Well, you also say that you want to ban gender-affirming care, but intersex people use gender-affirming care, and you just conceded that that actually is a biological thing, so that therefore that care would be a necessity in your mind. Doesn't that seem like a contradiction? That's kind of the question she's trying to ask, although it's not phrased all that well. But again, no big deal. She's probably nervous, and I don't think she has any training or anything.
So let's just go through a couple points here. First of all, you're saying that the so-called gender-affirming care is not for trans people. So just for the sake of argument, what if I said, okay, I agree with everything you said, gender affirming care should be available for intersex people, but not trans. Can we agree on that then?
Yeah, I would agree, but the laws that you're supporting don't. That's why I'm asking the
That's
question.
actually not accurate. Have you looked at the legislation?
Yeah,
What-
oh, can I respond to you really quick?
Well, let me finish asking my question. What specific law would prevent someone?
So it's actually funny because Matt Walsh doesn't really know what the he's talking about like usual, but he could actually turn this argument around on the girl if he really wanted to. There are some states that are banning gender affirming care for trans people, but are still permitting controversial intersex surgeries, which I believe are the types of surgeries where if a baby is born intersex, the parents kind of decide, and then they just roll with that. So if anything, Matt Walsh could weaponize that and say, well, actually, the places where it's being used for intersex people, it's happening non-consensually, or it's being used for harm or negative. So even where gender affirming care is available, it's a bad thing. Of course, would still ultimately be a bad argument. But she's taking a very unique approach by focusing on intersex people from that angle. That's interesting.
What specific law would prevent someone with a genetic anomaly or a deformity from seeking some kind of medical care or plastic surgery?
So currently, one of the ways to fix intersex issues that you find down the line, which is currently typically infertility for men, erectile dysfunction. When you figure it out when you're about a teenager, you have to start doing hormone therapy and hormone blockers, both of which are banned under multiple, including the one that I'm specifically referencing. It's the Kentucky proposed state law, would make sure that intersex individuals would not have access to those, as it's considered under the umbrella of gender affirming care, because technically it is affirming their gender, as they don't have a strictly male or female genitals or a reproductive system.
Okay. I have to confess, I'm skeptical of your reading of the Kentucky law. I have not.
I like how instantly Matt Walsh just assumes bad faith. And again, it's projection because he's bad faith. You realize that you could just concede, right? And be like, well, maybe I don't agree with that. Intersex people have been challenging gender normalizing surgery. Most of what I'm seeing is actually that a lot of them are accepting intersex. Multiple U.S. states have banned gender affirming care, But in some states, gender normalizing surgeries. They just changed the name, dude. They just slapped a different label on it. But in some states, gender normalizing surgeries are allowed on intersex infants with ambiguous sex characteristics. That's actually messed up. Gender affirming care, by the way, isn't even a problem, but it's a problem when it's given to infants without their consent. Those ambiguous characteristics apply to an estimated 1.7% of the world's population who are born intersex. Okay, so trying to find some support for what she was saying. I also looked up Kentucky law gender affirming care intersex, and I couldn't find anything on it. I mean, it blocks trans minors from accessing puberty blockers, but I couldn't find anything about intersex.
I have not read the exact language of that law myself, so I can't say for sure that you're wrong about that. What I do know is that, what I can speak to is the Tennessee law, for example, where I'm from, which bans these procedures, castration, mutilation, specifically mentions that if someone has an actual valid medical issue, then obviously they don't apply. It's the same thing as, we would ban.
So gender dysphoria isn't a valid medical issue? So not only is Matt Walsh here a scholar, he's also a doctor. Dr. Walsh, everybody. He's going to decide what is and is not a valid medical reason. Being Matt Walsh should be defined as a valid medical issue.
And we should ban cosmetic double mastectomies for gender-confused women. Obviously, if you have breast cancer, you need a double mastectomy, then you would not be forbidden from getting that. It's very easy to write that language into the law. Now, that's the first thing. Going to your point about intersex, a couple of points here, a couple of things.
So obviously I see the distinguisher that they're making, that they're trying to say that one is something biological, one is something I can see. Okay, scans can reveal that you have breast cancer. Okay, I can see it with my eyes, but if it's in your head, then you're just confused. It's a delusion. Like, it's literally just such an invalidation of anything mental health related.
First, as you said, how many intersex people?
There's currently, the United States clarifies in their census that there is 5.6 million Americans, which is double
Okay, let's look it up. 5.6 million. Okay.
the amount of trans adults in the United States.
5.6 million. Do you know how, for that figure, to arrive at that figure, do you know how intersex is defined?
Yes, intersex is defined as either having a chromosomal, here I actually have the exact definition pulled up on my phone from the US Census, because I wanted to make sure. It includes people with an extra.
Uh-oh, Isabella Moody's looking kind of moody. They thought it was going to be a gotcha there. Well, did you know they expanded the umbrella term for it?
Or missing sex-linked chromosome, those born with other physical variations that don't fit into the categories of male or female. This is seen as someone who has breast, but also has a penis.
Yeah. The issue is that the caveat there about other physical variations. So one thing that you should be aware of is that the actual number of intersex people has been, over the years, drastically inflated. And one thing that they've done is they've included, for example, a male who has an abnormally small penis size, for example, can be included as intersex under current definition.
If it's like unusable, like kind of like yours, Matt, then yeah. Intersex is a general term used for a variety of situations in which a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the box of female or male. It's probably like a micro penis to the point that it's not functional, and it could be because of a testosterone deficiency. And in that case, it could be because of a chromosomal issue. And in that case, they could be intersex. This isn't really helping your argument, Matt. When is this person going to get obliterated?
Term. So what they're doing is they're taking people to sort of inflate the number of intersex people. They're taking people who their biological sex is very clear, but there might be some variances in their body, and then they're saying, well, that's intersex too. And I think the reason that they're doing that.
Yeah, wait. Because what if somebody has a penis but has female chromosomes, Matt? They would be intersex. And you guys love talking about chromosomes.
That is, well, it kind of goes right to this conversation now, that the existence of intersex people is judged as very convenient for trans people in the LGBT movement. It's why they've included intersex in the pride flag, even though by your own accounting, intersex has nothing to do with gay pride, trans, got nothing to do with it. It is a genetic anomaly, it is a physical deformity, it's a defect, it's a disease, whatever word you want to use. That's what it is. It's got nothing to do with any of that. So there is.
I love how they include intersex
Oh, no.
in the LGBTQIA plus umbrella, and it's a literal physical deformity. That's kind of funny.
Is a concerted effort to.
That's it? Did it take you 5 minutes to come up with that commentary? Why are you even here, by the way? Like, you're not even talking. You're not doing anything. You're sitting here, looking annoyed. Although many intersex people are heterosexual and cisgender, this overlap and shared experiences of harm arising from dominant societal sex and gender norms has led to intersex people often being included under the LGBT umbrella, with the acronym sometimes expanded to LGBTI. Okay, why is that bad?
Are not their own sex. Okay, you said that they wouldn't count as male or female. That's not correct. There are only males and females in the human species. There is no third sex. No biologist worth his salt would recognize any third human sex. It can't be defined.
We recognize like two dominant sexes currently, like two main sexes, but it's a spectrum. So it's like you have one on this side, and there's like a variation here.
An intersex person, an intersex individual is a man or a woman whose biological sex, for this small minority of people, is harder to determine because of genetic anomalies.
Okay, so if they have this small fraction of people have this genetic anomaly where you can't determine it, can they pick their gender? Because you think gender and sex are connected and like must be. Like they must be inherently connected. Could they then pick their gender, please? Can we get a based Matt Walsh moment?
May affect, for example, their sex organs. But they're still male or female. Okay, there are only male or female gametes, ova or sperm. That's all that there are. There are no other options. You see what I'm saying?
I guess now not even chromosomes matter anymore. Damn. They were about to introduce the chromosome reassignment surgery for trans people to finally satisfy the conservatives, and now they've moved on to ova and sperm. Damn it. Conservatives and their sperm. At it again.
So, and you said that it's either male or female. It's just harder in determining what it is. But in this time frame, would you say that there is technically a fluid system of what could be considered male and what could be considered female, such as with real life examples, people who do have breasts that look like female breasts, but they do have a penis. Would you say that that is a man?
There's a very good system for determining if there's a male or female, and it's right almost every time. I mean, it's right 99.9% of the time. It's only for a small minority of genetic anomalies that there's any kind of issue at all. Now, you just gave the example of someone with breasts and a penis. Well, again, you're taking a hypothetical person. I would need an actual individual and...
Wait, there are intersex people like that. Well, I want to see an actual individual. She already gave you the stats, dude. Now you're just asking for things that you know she won't be able to provide because you want just a cheap and easy way out. Again, he's bad faith. And another thing I'd like to say, conservatives oftentimes try to weasel out of this. That's a small minority. That's a fraction of a fraction. And they'll say, well, the exception doesn't prove the rule. That's true. However, the exception tests the rule. And that's something I think that's really important to remember, because no one's saying that now that intersex people exist, this small minority of people exist, we must now redefine every single thing. No. But what it does is it tests our understanding of these rules, of the supposed binary that we've set. And it makes us realize that, maybe this isn't as black and white as we originally thought.
Again, you're taking a hypothetical person. I would need an actual individual, and depending on how they look, that shows how deep we sort of have to go to figure out what their actual biological sex is.
So, trans people that pass really well, Matt, what do you have to say about them?
But, I will say that a male who develops breasts is obviously still a male. The last point I'll make about this is that another way of looking at it, there's no third sex, right? And the way that we know that is because there is no category of person who has the reproductive capacities of both male and female. So you either have the reproductive capacity of male or you have it of female, or you're supposed to have the reproductive capacities of a male, but you don't because of a disease, or female, but you don't because of a disease. A third sex category, I suppose, would be someone who has both reproductive capacities. If you were to find somebody like that, well, now you have identified a true third sex individual, someone who does not fall under the category of either male or female. That sort of human being has never existed on the planet and never will exist and can't exist because there are only males and females. Thank you.
Yeah, it should just be as simple as that. Men can't get pregnant, women can. That's it. End of story. There's no in between. There's no but this. There's no a million infinite genders. How come this is a debate that we need to have? Well, we can.
Because there are really retarded dumb fucks like you who don't want to listen to reason, who don't understand nuance, who can't even conceive that maybe, just maybe, there are societal expectations placed on people, and that has something to do with how we perceive ourselves. And that societal expectation is correlated with biology, but it is not caused by biology. Therefore, we can change it. How is that so hard for you to understand, Moody? Clearly because you're stupid.
We can thank the American college system for brainwashing our students. We can thank the mainstream media. We can thank...
Literally, I'm pretty sure an AI could deliver better, more succinct talking points than this. What? She's just drunkenly rambling off like cliche boomer Fox News talking points right now.
We can thank all the institutions, social media, just everything that has major influence in this.
Can we brainwash this dumb please? Maybe it would help you become less of a psychotic individual.
Country. Shout out to you guys for just completely brainwashing and confusing our American youth. But that's all we have time for today.
And confusing our American youth. Oh, yeah. I love this. Conservatives really... I don't understand how they think this is a good argument, but they think that something being simple and easy to understand speaks to the level of truth, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, to them, men are men, women are women is really easy. And you'll hear conservatives say it all the time. Even a kindergartner knows this. That shouldn't be a win in your mind. You're saying that you need your beliefs to be so stupid that a kindergartner can understand them. No one's confused, Isabel, except you, because you're stupid. Also, nobody got obliterated here, so I got clickbaited. I'm disappointed. But then again, this was God's punishment. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And once again, this is your favorite white person signing out. If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member today. Members get early access to videos, access to all the stream VODs, and exclusive access to emotes as well. So if you'd like to support the channel, become a member today.